Good afternoon. My name is Bill Delainey, and I'm a director of the Saskatoon Heritage Society. I want to first provide a short history of the cemetery itself, then brief backgrounds of some of the early burials within it. Please note it was of necessity rather than design that this burial ground was established at this location in the spring of 1884. Temperance colonist Robert Clark, with his oldest son Wes, had just come from Moose Jaw by oxen and wagon to set up a farmstead on the southwest quarter of Section 14, about 2.5 miles east of here. Soon thereafter, he was called upon by other settlers in the area to help fight a prairie fire that was threatening from the south. While so doing, Robert was overcome by smoke. Recognizing the onset of pneumonia, Dr. Willoughby asked Wes to hurry back to Moose Jaw for his mother Eleanor and his 5 siblings who were waiting there. This he did in record time, returning with the rest of the family just shortly before Robert's death on May 25th. His family and the other settlers present then chose to bury Robert's remains at this particular site in the shade of a clump of trees next to the river. By 1888, 7 more burials are known to have taken place near Robert's grave, and possibly 3 times that many in the decade following, some of which I will refer to specifically in the succeeding segment of this video. In 1887, Thomas Copeland, on behalf of a concerned group of Saskatoon residents, had asked the Department of the Interior to legally designate this small east side portion of what is the southwest quarter of Section 20 as a burial site. He had been informed that a settler by the name of Andrew LaPont had made homestead entry on this quarter. However, as LaPont had not yet proved it up, the Department of the Interior did agree to sever this 21-acre portion from the quarter in question and officially designate it as burial ground. The population of Saskatoon and area grew significantly following the coming of the railway in 1890, and with it a corresponding increase in burials in this cemetery. In 1903, its operation and maintenance, including the movement of several graves away from the eroding riverbank, became the responsibility of the recently incorporated village of Nutana. Shortly thereafter, the newly incorporated town of Saskatoon on the west side of the river established the present Woodlawn Cemetery. With the amalgamation of the villages of Nutana and Riversdale with the town of Saskatoon to form the city of Saskatoon in 1906, this so-called Nutana Cemetery, along with Woodlawn, then came under the city's jurisdiction. In 1910, the city of Saskatoon restricted burials in this east side cemetery to those who had previously obtained plots within it. In fact, the last burial here was Mary McKinnon, who was laid to rest in her family's plot in 1948. As a result, this old pioneer cemetery would be largely neglected for much of the succeeding 7 decades. During that time, some of the stone monuments were vandalized and many of the deteriorating wooden markers displaced. Though in the early 70s, city crews were forced to move more of the graves away from the river's edge, including that of Robert Clark, so they wouldn't be exposed by further erosion of the high east bank. What official records there were of burials in this old cemetery to 1910 were incorporated with those of Woodlawn. Based on these incomplete records, along with newspaper reports and church listings, it is estimated that there were about 140 burials here over the years, and of the 120 or so identified, about 70 are presently marked by headstones. It was while preparing to celebrate the centennial of Saskatoon's founding in 1982 that public attention was again drawn to this old cemetery. Enabled by the 1979 Saskatchewan Heritage Act, the City of Saskatoon adopted the Saskatoon Heritage Protection Bylaw in 1980. In June of 1987, this pioneer cemetery, along with the Little Stone School and the Mar residence, were designated as municipal heritage properties to henceforth be protected and maintained under that bylaw.